What do we know about how Hamas is or is not using crypto for funding right now as we see this war ongoing?
Well, to clarify, what we know is that obviously the Israeli authorities have said that they've seized a certain amount. The key thing that this points to is that there's actually a digital paper trail. So we're able to see when bad actors have actually used cryptocurrency, there's a way to trace their transactions, right? The blockchain data is traceable. Again, that digital paper trail actually has led to disruptions. It's led to seizures. What we don't know specifically is, well, how much has actually been used. Those numbers that I think that we've seen in reports need some context. What may be happening on the ground is, you have in certain territories, you have over-the-counter brokers that may be serving Hamas and may be serving other customers. If those brokers, for example, have a link to Hamas, their accounts could be seized. It's possible that their accounts could be seized, and those accounts could include not just the crypto that Hamas is using or has used, but other users as well. So the numbers may be just a little, may require a little bit more context. We don't know exactly how much has gone to Hamas. But the key point is that the fact that those transactions occur allows for disruption.
Yaya, how do you feel about this at the Crypto Council for Innovation? I mean, certainly, most of the Western world considers Hamas a terrorist organization and doesn't want Hamas to be able to access funds through any means. Of course, for the most part, they use fiat currency, and crypto probably plays a small part in their funding. On the other hand, the idea of cryptocurrency, at least originally, was that it couldn't be censored by any government organization, and that it would be able to, it would be like gravity, and then everyone gets to use it, and no one could stop anyone from doing it. So how do you feel about the idea of censoring this cryptocurrency to certain groups?
Well, I wouldn't use the term censoring. They say that money is fungible. And if you think about crypto, I would say crypto is global. So it's never been the case that you can stop a crypto transaction from happening peer to peer. But we live in a regulated world when it comes to money services and financial services. Actually, since 2013 in the United States, crypto exchanges have been regulated. People say crypto is not regulated. That's a myth. So we always, as a society, we always have measures in place to deal with the potential risks for illicit finance. In crypto, that's where that comes across with anti-money laundering regulations for those crypto traders. I wouldn't say that we're talking about censoring. You're really talking about regulating the businesses that deal with crypto transactions. That's what we do in the world of finance. And when it comes to the United States, that's why we have the regulations. And it's important to note that the weak points are other jurisdictions that may not be following those rules and implementing those rules. Those are where the gaps are, and groups like Hamas or any other bad actor will go to those locations and exploit those platforms in order to get to bypass those safeguards.
All right, so we're hearing more and more about we were hearing a lot as Russia invaded Ukraine about how that country and Russian oligarchs were moving funds around with crypto, and we're hearing now more and more about how Hamas may be funding certain operations or getting donations via crypto. Do you have any sense of how much of these funds are in crypto versus fiat currencies or versus, for example, the U.S. dollar?
Well, if you're talking about Hamas, right, the universe of their funding is vast in general. Hamas has a mix of sources. You have to think about it, right? They are doing taxation. They have businesses. In fact, U.S. Treasury actually sanctioned the Hamas Investment Office. Yes, that's an actual entity. Last year for its portfolio, which was $500 million in cash with businesses, real estate, mining, businesses that were across the globe. So we don't know, in terms of crypto, you're really what we've seen. I used to look at some terrorist crowdfunding campaigns several years ago. Typically, those campaigns, which maybe can elicit funds right away, they tend to be short-lived. Because if you do public solicitation of crypto, you're raising your profile. You're sort of basically saying, hey, investigator, look at me. This transaction is traceable. Now I've given you a trail to go after me. So I would say crypto, with my experience looking at terrorist financing, is not the major source of a group like Hamas. They have plenty of other sources. Crypto is probably a small part of their overall.